gonna make one swell bear.
Hello, hello. I'm here. Welcome. And Ryuko, thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. How is everybody? Actually, I think I want this a little wider. I've been doing like wider canvases lately, and it's been pretty nice. And I vaguely have an idea of what I'm going to draw this time, so let's start out that away. I hope everybody's doing good. Tizzle, hello. Actually, I think probably like here. You did in fact make it to the beginning of a stream. Oops. I was gonna have him holding a drink, but I've decided against it. Oops. Joseph, hello.
You're gonna make one swell bear.
Basti. Thank you for the follow. How are you? Hope you're well. I think I'm gonna make this a little smaller. This is gonna be like slightly indecipherable for you guys for a little bit, but I hope that you can forgive me. Nope. I'll move this here so you can kind of actually see it.
And you're gonna make one swell bear.
Lion worm. Hey, thanks. I hope you're doing well. Sorry, I'm still kind of like figuring out what it is I want to draw here, so I'm not being terribly talkative at the moment. Just still kind of figuring out this little sketch. I always draw the hands like way too big. I think that time I actually made it too small. How was my day? My day was alright. It's fairly quiet, which is pretty good. Bean team, hello. I want like this. I think I'm just gonna go with like a fist. Something like that. Here we go. Okay. Cutest sketch you've seen. Thank you, but reconsider. I'm sure there have been much more adorable sketches you've seen. I need to fix his whole head here. It's like a little too low. But I want to try and preserve this expression a little before I start moving it around. Okay. Probably a little more like this. Relax, hello. I'm doing alright. I hope that you're also doing well. What's the plan? It's a movie night, Doodle, today. They're watching a comedy this time. Because I feel like I never draw them watching a funny movie. I think that's better. Something like this, maybe. Oh, I know what I'll do. Because I mostly still like the Jesse from this drawing, so. Or from this sketch, I should say. So I'll just copy and paste it. Yeah. Takedo, hello.
kind of bear he turned out.
Ah, Silver.
He didn't even know how to act like a bear.
Thank you for the subscription. I hope your work is going well. I'm doing alright. Just chilling, drawing some friends.
Yeah, man. I like being a bear.
Pancakes. Thank you for the prime sub. So generous. A hype train is close. What the heck? You guys are crazy out here tonight. I think that'll be good enough. So let me flip it back. Probably needs to be a little bit lower here. Thanks for stopping by, Silver. I hope you have a wonderful day at work and also when you're done with work. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the background. That seems fine. Don't especially care about this line here because I'm guessing that it will mostly be behind our friend here. Gonna turn that on for a second. Random hello. How's it going? it's going. I understand. I too am going, but I'm doing alright. Oh no. Oh man. Well, that's no fun. Sorry to hear all that. Jinx, hello. How's the art going now that the pressure is off? It's pretty good. I've inflicted a different type of pressure now, though. Where, now that I know I have, like, time to draw, like, a longer story, I've been wanting to really bad. So now I can't stop thinking about, like, okay, well, how am I gonna do this part or whatever. And I want to eventually start drawing some stuff like related to it without trying to like give it away too hard, which is the real struggle. I was going to do that today where I like practice draw some stuff, but I was like, let me do something different instead. Twitter does seem to be responding to it. It's pretty nice. Everybody's been pretty chill. Every now and again I'll get a couple messages from folks where it's like, are you okay? What happened to you? It's like, I'm fine. Came here because you need some chill vibes. Nice. And my week has been pretty chill so far, Jinx. I hope yours also is pretty chill. Espresso Frank.
Yeah, man. I like being a bear.
Atticus, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it immensely. Prime Gaming as well, wow. Nice to know we got some gamers in the chat. That's real poggers of you or something. I'm only teasing. Just joshing. Trying to think of what Espresso Josh would look like, or Espresso Frank. I want to call it Josh because I get called Josh frequently by older people who forget what my name is. Oh, you got Twitch affiliate. Cool. Been working together to take over Coral Bay. Probably. Man, that's the other thing I gotta get around to drawing is all the rest of these folks that live in this town. Like Cecil's family. It was Espresso Josh all along. Maybe I'll just make that like the name of a coffee shop in the town. Hug me, hello. Work rate, please. I feel like I haven't had one of those happen on stream in a while. It's kind of surprising. Let me unplug this for a little while and see if that helps. As of right now, the answer is yes. Nope. It didn't help for very long. Turn it below. How are you? You missed the world building that was going on here, I guess. Unexpected day off. Those are the best kinds of day off. Native use, same. Welcome back, Tizzle. You didn't miss much. We're still here and we're still chilling. The secret to having them is to not expect them. That's true. I'm very bad at that in general, though. Like, I'm very bad at taking days off. But I've always kind of been like that. Ever since I was but a wee lad. I'd always be like, man, I gotta take a day off and then do extra work to catch up at school. This is no fun. Rico, hello. work rate, please. Kind of wish you had that outlook. No, you don't. I promise you. It's the worst. I recently decided to take days off, not next week, but the week after. And they, like, made a whole deal about it. We have, like, a weekly meeting where, like, all the staff kind of gets together and is like, hey, what's going on in your world? What you got coming up soon? And when they saw my days off on the calendar, they were like, okay, nobody call him. Hopefully that remains true, but we'll see. But I hate, like, using my days off when I'm, like, not doing anything or going somewhere. Because if I'm just, like, gonna sit at home, then I'll be like, oh, I could have just gone to work and not been behind now. So I didn't actually take a vacation at all last year. And I don't think I did the year before because there was a whole global parallelogram going on. The Backstreet Boys reunion tour. So this time around, everybody was like, let him go. But I feel like I'll probably still get a phone call at least. That panini. Yeah. I think I'm just gonna do 3 teeth here. Should probably do more, but it's fine, you know? I'll do one more. Someone did something wrong, you gotta fix it. Exactly. The perpetual mood. But that seems like it's always the case in my office. Like, anytime someone leaves is also when someone breaks something. And that exact person who's gone is the only one who knows how to fix it. Debating on if I wanted to do the lines for Jesse on a separate layer, but I've decided to just do them all on one layer. Hopefully, that won't come back to haunt me later. It's true. He is. I don't know what this joke was, but it really got him. Already wins Drawing of the Year. I suppose it's Drawing of the Year so far, but you know, maybe some stuff will happen later on this year, he said hopefully. Full of childlike wonder, yet to be defeated by cynicism. Oh wait, I just remember the thumbnail for this on YouTube's gonna be weird again. I like designed my thumbnail layout with my usual square drawings in mind. So doing a non-square is slightly weird. Anyone who's watching this later, know that I know that it looks weird. Hopefully it doesn't look that weird. If it does, leave a comment below. Just kidding. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Oh man, I don't know if I told this story on stream before. But one time, my nephew came over and was messing with my computer and stuff. And I have this microphone here for when I'm streaming. So when he was like pressing buttons on the keyboard, he like leaned into the mic as he was clicking stuff and was like, "Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe." I was like, "Dude, you're like 4. What do you know about like, comment, subscribe?" And then I realized that like kids just watch YouTube these days. And that's kind of like the thing everyone says. Which is PewDiePie. I don't think he does. Be super wild if he did. If I was just like, actually, he's more of a Markiplier fan. I am kind of curious about like what YouTuber he's watching now, though. I'm not privy to that information. I don't really know what I would do with that information once I got it. I just think it would be kind of funny. He was looking a little weird, so sometimes you just gotta do like a little follow through without actually drawing anything to be like, oh, okay, so that would probably come like here. That's one of the reasons that I like having this set up, so you can see when I do those things. You can't really see it if it's only a screen recording. I think I accidentally undid a thing. Okay, please. Okay. I was watching Drawfee right before this, which if you want to watch people draw some stuff who are like really talented at drawing and stuff, you should check out Drawfee. But they're very funny. And it got me like wishing, or not wishing, but more like wanting to do that format of a drawing stream one day. Where it's just like multiple people kind of hanging out and drawing together. I think that'd be kind of fun. But I always feel kind of bad when I'm like being very quiet and focused. So having like multiple people talking would be a way to alleviate that. They take dumb ideas and make even dumber drawings. It's true. I was watching the one where they they try to draw celebrities. But they only get yes or no questions to try and determine what the celebrity looks like as they're drawing. It's like such a genius idea. But the folks on their Patreon always suggest really funny things. That particular episode, yeah. But it's not always like that. Like it's different every time. They do like a different thing each week or each episode. I don't remember how often they come out. But what was especially funny about that one in particular was that the person who was like in charge of answering the questions is the one who knows celebrities the least, apparently. So it would be a lot of like, not that they knew celebrities least, but it was like she didn't fully like, it was difficult for her to explain in yes or no question terms of like facial features. So it would always be a lot of like, I guess. But yes, it was Karina. She's very funny. The thickness on some of these lines isn't quite right. Like this one section here is like so heavy. compared to everywhere else, it's like really pulling your eye there, so that's why I was trying to fix it. Good enough. Kinda want to change this curve here. This is another one that's like a little too heavy. I think someone is burning food downstairs. Oh my goodness. Stop undoing things. I want his glasses to be tilted a little here. Someone is really having some trouble with that smoke alarm, it's true. This building better not be on fire. Seems good enough. The last one I posted, the portrait one. I'm glad that you liked it. This type of drawings always like really stress me out. And I almost never feel good about them in the end, which is unfortunate. But that's why I don't do portraits of folks too often. Because I always feel like I'm letting them down by not being the best. Just want to be perfect. Talking about the process? Yeah. It's always fun. I realized, like, as I was posting it onto YouTube, though, that it was like me talking about all the stuff that you can do with references and then not doing, like, any of it and ending up with a very inaccurate drawing. The tripping one, yeah, that one was fun. I had a lot of fun with that one. That was one of those ones where it's like I had to been I don't know if you were in here when I was talking about it earlier, but I've been wanting to do like a longer form comic. And initially that one was going to be like a test of like how I would render those. Because I would want to still do it in color. But then I was like, well, what if I just like took the colors and like muted them or something, like kind of fit them all into a single palette. But then like once I was like in it and drawing it, I was like, oh man, I gotta do the lighting here. Can't not do the lighting. Gotta space these out a little better here. Don't get too stressed. Yeah. I know I shouldn't get stressed about it, but I still get very stressed about it, regardless. Mostly because it's like, and this is the struggle of like every artist that I've ever encountered as far as I'm aware, where it's like the stuff that you draw and the stuff that you see in your head are not the same. When you're drawing something, you're like attempting to reach the level of the thing that's in your head, and it almost always falls short, unfortunately. That would probably be like here, so you wouldn't see it over there. Okay. But yeah, like because of that, I'm always like concerned when I don't do something like perfectly, or at least the way that I see it in my head, because I don't want people to be like, oh, so that's like how you see me or whatever. And it's like, no, but that's as good as my dumb hands could do. So that's why those kind of things always stress me out, because it's like I know I see more details and like stuff like that when looking at a person or a portrait or something. So the reason that I feel bad is because I can't properly like articulate those things to the person I'm drawing in the drawing itself, if that makes sense. So that's like where all the frustration usually comes from. It's like wanting to say something to someone, but you don't know the words that you want to use. Like you can't find the words that you want to say. Popped off with the lighting, though. Thank you. I am glad that you liked it. Would be happy to. Yeah. You're probably right. I still feel bad, though. I tend to get in my head about that sort of thing, though. Okay, so I'm going to group all these together now. Because we starting to get complicated. What layer is this? What's happening on this layer? Nothing. Okay. Let's choose some colors now. Let's go with this one. Come on. There we go. Let's start here. Sure hope that's right. Okay. Scary. Let's try this. Probably a little bit higher. That's not bad, that's not bad. Now let's get... Wait, where's that other one at? I'll use both of these together. Maybe it'll help. I said that and then went back to the first thing. Whoops. Use this for our background color. MJCU, oh no. everyone's banding together to fight. Who was it? Espresso Josh. That's the through line of that particular universe, I guess. Collecting the infinity pencils or something. Infinity soft boys. It's too powerful. Let's get some fake mountains in here. Whenever I don't know what to draw in these sorts of things, it's always mountains. Let's say this color. I forgot that I lowered the opacity on this layer. When you do that, clipping masks get really weird in this program for some reason. Good enough. So this is all the wall. Wait, I even draw mountains inside? What do you mean? I don't fully understand. I need an adult. Kidding, I still don't understand the joke.
And you're gonna make one swell
That's
bear.
okay. Phthalate. You've got a funny name there, friend. But thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Know it really well. Yeah, kinda. I know it as well as you might expect for someone who used it every day for a long time. But there's a lot of stuff in this program that I don't do very much, so I don't really know how it works. Like all the stuff about like, let me just show you, like all the brush editing stuff. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't use I don't use any of that stuff. I'm just out here with the default brushes, trying my best. That's far too large. I think I'm just gonna try and use this color for the background shadows, like the whole way through. Rather than try to mess with some other color, you know? Or like mess with a blending mode or whatever. But it looks like I'm probably gonna have to use a different color anyway. Whatever joke he's telling must be a knee slapper. I guess so. Although he's not really telling a joke. This is another movie night. I said movie day, like these ever take place during the day. Another movie night one. So this time they're watching a comedy. Whoops. Good enough. Where they end up cuddling. Yeah. Those ones are always fun. I figured I'd mix it up a little bit though. Because you never really get to see them laughing together. Maybe darken will work here? Who can say? What I will do though is one of these. And one of those. And one of those. Set this to multiply. Grab our shadow layer from before, select it, then invert it. So now we're only selecting the stuff that's not the shadow, and we'll clear it out. So that those shadows have like a bit of a gradient to them where they get darker towards the base. They usually watch movies at Jesse's place. here. Do like this move. Set it to like color dodge. That should be fine. And we'll do another one here. Set that one to add, that'll be cool. And now we're going to select the shadow layer. Clear out that top one. So we get like a nice little bit of a glow here. And in fact, I'm going to duplicate that and blur it a little. Just so that these lights have like even more of a little glow. And I'm not really worried about anything going on down here because that's all going to get covered up by the boys here in a second. I would say it's a comedy tizzle. Although a So Bad It's Good movie is always a good time. Thank you, John. I'm glad that you like it. One of these days, I'll get around to doing a one of these here movie night drawings where the lighting kind of flickers like there's a TV actually in front of them. I always like consider doing it, but then when I like actually get around to drawing these ones, I'm like, I don't feel like doing that. That's so much work. Just because I usually end up getting a little bit carried away with the lighting in these, because it's usually a fun time. But this is what I was talking about when I said I didn't really care about those lighter colors for the background here, because as you can see, I'm filling in this whole section, so you're not going to see any of that. Make that a clipping mask. This is our tank group. And this is our Jesse group. Probably don't need to plug this back in, but I'm going to since it seems to be cooperating a little more. And I don't want it to fully die on me on stream. When it tells me it has 10% battery left, is usually when it's going to die regardless of what I do, if I keep drawing, you know? I just need a new one. Well, I don't really need a new one. But I would like a new one. Isn't that the way of most things, though? But they're so expensive. figure if I save like slowly but surely, by the time I'm ready to get an upgrade in such a way that's not going to be like such a huge pain in my wallet, things will have had time to upgrade and stuff like that. It'll be even newer and better by then. Alright, so one thing I am gonna get rid of is this little spot right here. Just because we want that to be a little closer to what the couch looks like. Okay. So now I'm gonna completely ignore the lighting for a minute and just fill in the local colors. And as always, I'm making all of these color layers clipping mask on this big skin tone layer I did earlier, so that I don't really have to worry about staying inside the lines, because the computer will do it for me, or the iPad will do it for me, whatever, you get what I mean. He's got a little bit of this going on. Got a little bit of red. In a couple spots. Good night, Tizzle. Thank you for hanging out. Sleep well. I hope you have wonderful dreams and a wonderful day tomorrow. I think I want this a little bit darker. With this color for the teeps. What color clothes should I give him today? I'll fill in some of Jesse. Well, you guys tell me what you think he should wear. What's a color color you've always wanted to see him wear? A light gray. Okay. I'm gonna fill in a little bit more of this boy first. I forgot about the glasses. I was like, why does that look so weird? Light gay, oh snap, you got him. You done got him. I'm gonna make this a little extra light here, just so I can see it, and then I'll change it back. Got him, coach. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Oh man, that reminds me, I've been checking out a new podcast today. And it seems pretty cool so far. I'm kind of into it. I don't remember the name of it, unfortunately, because I only just started watching it. But it's like, you know how they have true crime podcasts, and they're always like, here's a dude who murdered someone. Isn't that messed up and spooky? And then you're like, yes, it is. And then you feel bad. Well, this is a true crime podcast, but it's all about cybercrime. So the most recent, I've only listened to 2 episodes so far, because the first one was kind of short. But it was, the first one was about people who hack phones for major corporations and cause those phones to dial their pay per minute numbers, so that they rack up huge fees for these companies. That was pretty wild. And then the second one was all about this company that made products for kids, like tablets and smart watches that are kind of like the real ones that their parents would have, but not actually. And how a hacker saw that like the website that they would need to use to like make an account for those products was like incredibly vulnerable, to the point where it would like, through just like a couple little things, he was able to get like access to the database of like every email and address of every like parent, and then also like every photo or audio recording that the kids uploaded with that product. It was like crazy. And he was like, he went to like some journalists and stuff and was like, I don't want to do anything with this. I just want them to know that this is like very bad and they need to fix it. It was very interesting. But I feel like I almost never hear those sorts of stories from a true crime podcast type perspective, you know? So it was kind of neat. What color should Jesse wear now? Because I'm not sure of what he should wear either. Probably something else from that palette, I guess. I'm just gonna draw his glasses and stuff while I think about it, or unless you guys have suggestions. Sea foam. I think one of the things in that palette was like a sea foam, so I will do this. It'll probably look kind of neat. Purple. Maybe I'll give him some purple pants then. Glasses. That's not quite a seafoam, is it? It's probably closer to like here. Yeah. Let's go with that. This may not work, actually. I'll have to see. But it might be too close to his, like, regular skin color. It's kind of feeling that way. I may have to change it here. He may get that purple shirt instead. hesitation for purple is that it's going to be very similar to the colors that I'm going to slap on top of this. So it might look out of place compared to our other boy, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. You know? Yeah. I could like maybe make it a little darker and just like a little more green. That's a little better. I've decided I'm just gonna go with that color. Forgive me. And he's got the gray sweatpants. Actually, no, because these aren't sweatpants. I guess I could make them sweatpants, though. Just gotta get rid of a couple lines. I think maybe I'll do that. Yeah. Let's go. Ah. I think I want this even thinner, actually. That's probably fine. These are our line layers. Alright, I think I had this for our shadows. bit here. And I'm gonna make a copy of these layer groups and flatten them. And merge them together. I'll put these all the way down here below everything else because I don't really need these. I don't need to like see them. I just need to select them so that we can get rid of all that stuff. Dang. Oh. Okay. Color dodge works pretty good here. Key, hello. Ah. I'm gonna set this to add now just so I can see these lines as I do them. Lionel, hello. Ah. But when I say I get carried away with the lighting for these ones, this is the sort of thing I'm talking about. These are just going to be some general color gradients here. Before I do the rest of the actual like lighting and stuff. Gotta remember to close them shapes, you know. Thin, sexy lines. Don't get used to them. I hate using them. So, you probably won't see them again. Make it look easy? Well, thank you. It's all practice. You too can achieve these drawings. And I'm going to make this part a little bit bigger because it'll be easier and faster to just plop a whole big shape in there. Yeah, I'll put one here. Why not? So now we're going to blur all of those. Turn that down some. Yeah. Okay. Actually, maybe I'll just keep it going. And what I'll do is, procreate, please. Please procreate. There we go. What I'll do here probably is, just kind of like blur all of this later. Procreate, please. All right. Mm. Hmm. So I like some of these, but not all of these. I think. I think I want to get rid of most of them. Especially like in the folds here. coming to learn that these types of lights generally look best on skin and not so much on fabric. So let's see if this does anything to help that. It kind of does. Let's go with this color actually. Whoa. Forgot that my brush was like the maximum. Ah. Procreate, please. Fine, forget it. I'll just draw a different line. I have a bunch of candy. It's like right next to me. And I'm tempted to eat it. But I don't want to be munching on stuff right in your ears. That would be rude. Adding to the ASMR. No. I can wait. Jack Raiden, hello. Welcome. And there are, in fact, a couple of tummies in this one. But how are you doing? That's the real question. Practicing arms. I feel you. Arms can be a mystery. The biggest thing for me for arms are generally like muscle groups. It usually helps me to figure out like where the best place to put lines and shadows and stuff like that are. Drawing the different areas of muscle. Oh, I gotcha. Just take it like one group at a time is what I would say. There's tons of like anatomy reference out there for like doctors. But as it turns out, It's also very helpful for drawers too. So I would say look up some like anatomical type stuff and just kind of really get like a feel for which ones go where and what's connected to what and why and how they move the way they do. And that'll help you get a much better understanding of like what goes where and in relation to what. It feels like a lot of extra work, and it kind of is, but that's what helped me the most, at least, was to be like, okay, well, like this part of the forearm can't be that big because it needs to bend in this way or blah blah blah, that sort of stuff, you know? Feeling like you're going slow. Yeah, don't worry about it. Everybody goes at their own pace, you know? Don't rush it. It'll get there. One big thing for me, as far as like practicing stuff goes, was not doing too many like I'm only gonna do a whole page of arms today. Like doing that sort of stuff was like the worst for me. But again, your mileage may vary, I don't know. But the best thing for me for practicing that sort of stuff is always just like draw a thing that you like to draw and just try and incorporate that thing you're working on into it. It doesn't have to be like a ton of practice every time, as long as you just draw it like once, you know? So like, for example, for me, it'd be like, I want to draw glasses. So I would draw Jesse doing something, but as long as I drew his glasses at some point, it would still be practice and I could still learn. But I still had like the freedom to do other stuff that I wasn't necessarily worried so much about, but could still have like fun with as part of it, so that I didn't like dread doing the thing. Like I'd be like, okay, I really want to work on his glasses here, so those are like the focal point, and that's what I'm going to focus my time on. But I would still have the ability to be like, all right, but also let's mess with some colors a little bit and have some fun with those, or like do a fun pose or something like that, you know? So luckily with things like anatomy, it's a little easier to do that sort of thing. You just have to like draw a character you like to draw and make sure that when you draw them, they're in a pose that will help you to practice the thing you're trying to practice. It's part of the reason that I draw these boys all the time, is because like I draw them all the time so I know what they look like, so I don't have to worry about figuring out the character design in addition to also practicing something. I don't really have to think about like, oh, well, how do I want to make the hair today in this drawing or whatever. It's just like, no, his hair is always this way. I'm just here to focus on this one particular thing. And I can just kind of have fun with everything else without having to worry too hard. a little different. Oh wait, hold on, I missed a thing. Oh no, I'm sorry. Hold on. Oh, I didn't. Okay. It was the bot. But yeah, it's a little bit different for everybody, so like don't get too down on yourself about it. Like try not to get too frustrated. What worked for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for me. It's just the way that these things go. It's one of the reasons that I like try to... this is incorrect. One of the reasons that I try to always preface my advice by saying like, this is not the way to do this. This is just the way that I learned to do this, kind of. Doing stuff from memory and imagination. Oh, okay. Well then to that I would say definitely grab some reference and practice from reference. It might not be the way you usually work, and that's fine. It may feel weird to do, and that's also fine. It doesn't have to like go anywhere. You don't have to like show it to people if you're not like cool with it. But practicing from like a real life reference will definitely help give you a better understanding of the things that you're having troubles with, and then you can always apply that to other stuff later on, whether you choose to or not. That was one of the like biggest lessons that when I was in school, a lot of our art teachers would try to hammer into us, especially for like the folks who were like going into animation and stuff like that, because for whatever reason they would generally kind of come in with the preconceived notion of like, well, I'm just drawing cartoons, I don't need to know how to draw like a whole person. But then you kind of realize that learning those things and understanding those things is something that will help you to understand like how to do those things differently when you get to animation and stuff, if that makes sense. Like if you understand how it works normally, then you can understand how to make it work with your style when you get to that point. Do a lot of drawing from... Yeah, I understand. That part's a big hurdle to get over at first. I would recommend doing some life drawing stuff where you kind of have to force yourself to not do it from memory. That is some of the like best for getting out of that habit. Because what life drawing will do is it'll force you to look at what's in front of you and not rely on like what you assume there was an exercise that it was like one of the things that one of our like freshman drawing teachers did on like the first week of classes or whatever. They would come up and put like a cup on the table and be like, all right, draw this cup. And everybody would be like, that's easy and weird. Okay. But as they sort of went through, what people would kind of find is that like most of the folks in the room would just sort of draw like a cup. So at the end of it, he would be like, no, 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 no. I said to draw this cup, not like, you know, not like oh, here's a cup. Not like one of those. It would be like, all right, look at this thing on the table and draw what it looks like. Because you sort of build up a base of knowledge of like, I've seen that thing in the world. I know what it looks like. And you kind of come up with like symbols for things, if that makes sense. Like you understand the idea of an arm because you've seen them in the world, but if you really sit down and like really, really look at it, it'll probably be different from how you remember. So life drawing type exercises are very good for that because you have to constantly be paying attention to what's in front of you because you don't have a ton of time to just kind of like noodle around, you know? Specifically the type of like drawing exercise where you try to draw without looking down at your paper at all. The analogy that we kind of ended up learning is basically like if you have 10 seconds to look at something and draw it, you should be looking at it for 9 of those seconds and drawing it for probably 1 of them. Because when you're like life drawing and stuff, you need to kind of be kind of like the blind contour stuff, but not really. Mostly because the focus, the goal is to sort of, it's kind of like taking notes of a thing that you're looking at, if that makes sense. Where it's not necessarily meant to be like perfect, but it's something that if you were to come back to it later, you should be able to like fully understand, okay, their arm looked like this, they were doing this, like all that sort of stuff. If that makes sense. Match, hello. I am live, yes. So the focus is to mostly just sort of look at the thing that you're drawing, the thing that's in front of you. So that inevitably as is always the case when life drawing, when the person moves or the situation changes in some way, you'll have like at least a decent understanding of like how they were in that moment in time. So if you want to come back and mess with it later, you can, but the whole drawing should still like work by the time they move. Even if it's just like a scribbly mess of nonsense, like you should still at least be able to, as the person who drew it, understand what was going on. And if necessary to like if you needed to be able to convey it to someone else, you would be able to. That is generally the goal of those. Like you don't necessarily need to be photoreal perfect when you have 30 seconds to draw something, but you should be able to be like, oh yeah, they were stood like this, their leg was doing that, their arm was doing this, like that sort of stuff. But yeah, that type of stuff is, like you said, it's very good for showing you where your areas of improvement are. The place that I usually use for doing that sort of thing online is posemaniacs.com, I think. But as the name implies, live drawing is usually best done live. So if you can like get to a place to do that sort of thing, that'll be much better practice. Just go to like a busy place or something and do the two look rule, which is a very funny life drawing rule that I love. But it's basically like you try to draw a person, and if they look up at you drawing them twice, you have to stop. The second time they look at you is when you're done. So it's kind of fun because it makes it like a drawing stealth game. But at the same time, you really have to focus on like as much detail as you can, because you never know when a person's going to start suddenly moving or looking in your general direction. Quick poses. Maybe Pose Maniacs isn't the one I'm thinking of. There's one that just is like photos of people and it shuffles through them every couple seconds. I thought that was Pose Maniacs, but maybe I'm misremembering. Because I know that there's one that's basically just like some weird Grey's Anatomy type, like posable figure or whatever. And that one's kind of lame for exactly the reason you're talking about. Maybe it's quick poses. I don't know, man. It's been such a long time since I've done it. Quite bad at it, honestly. Like I should do that more often. What I should do is see if there are any like local places that offer drawing classes, like life drawing classes that are open to the public. Because those are always a lot better. Human anatomy for artist. Yes. Anatomy for us humans. I am one of those human artistes. Oh. Drawing stiff poses. I feel you. For that sort of thing, I would try to embrace animation techniques as much as you can, where basically the goal is to exaggerate the pose as much as you possibly can a lot of the time, because you want it to be as easily readable as possible. Using reference and thinking of things. Yeah. Trying to make that 2D to 3D transition is always pretty difficult. Sometimes it can be a little easier if you sort of have like experience in a 3D medium. It'll help you to kind of think about that stuff a little better. Whether that be like a digital thing, like download Blender and figure out some stuff, or if it's even like building something for real actually with something. One of the cool things about the school that I went to is they made us do a ton of art disciplines that were not related to the thing we were actually in school to do. And part of the benefit of that is that it sort of exposes you to a lot of different ways of thinking about creating things. So for example, we had like we had three different, or at least I had three different classes that were all about three-dimensional things in like a physical space. So for all those things, you kind of had a project where it involved having to actually think about how you're going to construct this thing and how it's going to exist in space and how it's going to look from all sides. One of those classes turned out to be very fun though. And it was something that I would like never have done otherwise, which is part of the reason that I have such fond memories about it, I guess. But it was a metalworking class. It was really cool. I got to make a bunch of stuff out of metal. It was like little stuff though, like more jewelry than like heavy machinery. I wasn't like welding things. But there was like a follow-up class for if you wanted to do that sort of stuff. Is that something? It's not. I don't like it. This may not be accurate, but it looks better to me. But yeah, I still have a couple of those metal things. Actually, I think I have. It's like kind of close, but at the same time, I don't want to go get it. One of the things that we had to do, pretty much everything about that class, because it was like an introduction class, was very beginner friendly. So it was just like, we're going to learn about this particular type of technique. And the thing that's closest to me was we were learning about riveting, like making rivets in metal and fastening things together that way. So I made a little shark that was made to hold my pencils and stuff, which it still does to this day. Pencils and like a lot of brushes from when I would do Inktober stuff. But yeah, I was riveted by it, it's true. The cube's advice is very good. Using simple shapes to sort of mentally figure out how the complex shapes work is always the way to go. Because all of the super difficult to figure out type of shapes can always be broken down into something smaller and easier to manage. guess that's fine. Very hungry. My tummy's been growling. I hope the microphone hasn't been picking it up and being annoying. But if so, I apologize. Just gonna blur these a little bit. Yeah. Good enough. I think it's this color. Yeah. I guess. I still don't like this. I don't really know how to go about fixing it to be the thing I want it to be, though, is the problem. So I guess it's fine. Okay. So now we gotta put in some special effects. Really kind of set this whole thing off here. Oops. Yeah. And I'll go here. I want these two layers with the little effect things and the... Actually, let me grab, No, that's fine. I want these two things to be above everything else so that when I start adjusting all these colors, they stay the same. Is what I was trying to say there, but didn't. So, we can flatten everything down. And start messing with some gradient maps. That seems like it might be fun. Kind of was, kind of was. Whoops. So kind of darken up our dark bits a little more while brightening our bright bits a little more. I'm really curious about what this is going to do. I kind of like that, actually. Yeah. It's very subtle for you guys, but it is doing something. It's kind of warming up all of our lights, specifically like in their faces a little bit more, while cooling down everything in the shadows a little bit. I think it's great. Come on. There we go. I didn't really mean to do that, but that's fine. And I think this will probably do it here. Gonna flatten all these down. Grab our small round brush here. Come all the way down here and delete a pixel. Yeah. We done it. How fun. Where's that replay? Blam. Well, thank you all for joining me here on this surprise Wednesday night stream. Surprised but not really surprising, because I usually mean to stream on Wednesday. I just kind of normally don't, because I'm tired. But yeah, we've done it. Amazing. So yeah, thanks again for hanging out. If you want to see this finished drawing, and more drawings like it, you can head on over to Twitter and Instagram, where I am the same name over there. And that's where all the drawings go when they're done. Hold on. Trying to pull up a thing. Yeah. I should be back again on Monday, probably, to draw some more. So if you would like to see more of this, you can do that on that day. But if you're thinking to yourself, oh man, I don't want to wait all the way until Monday, well, have I got good news for you. If you scroll down a little bit, there's a link probably somewhere to a YouTube channel where all of these past streams live. So you can watch all the old ones there. But the most recent one stays on Twitch until I stream again. For those who subscribe. But yeah. Until I see you guys again, you know, go and do something cool for somebody. Go do something nice. Be an awesome force in the world. Or something. I don't know. Just go do something cool. And, yeah. I'll see you guys in the next one, I suppose. Let's go raid our buddy Bear Boy. That's the thing I was pulling up a second ago. So we're gonna go say hi to him. He's playing the Final Fantasy Origin thing. So let's go check that out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for hanging out. See you guys later. Bye.
Welcome. We are playing some Stranger of Paradise tonight, and I almost